Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters, melanated brothers and sisters, anyone else who may be watching, and welcome to another edition of Magick La Croix Speaks, brought to you by the Magical Elite Supply Shop for all your cultural, occultic, and witchy needs. And I'd like to, before I begin, I just want to put out a disclaimer that this particular video is called The Agendas. This is probably going to offend some people. I really don't care. So if you're offended easily, or certain topics that I may address offends you or make you feel uncomfortable, you might want to leave right now, because this is going to be no holds barred, and since I am addressing a specific audience, this needs to be said. Now, when I say the agendas, one of the biggest agendas I want to address is turning melanated men feminine. Let's just put it that way. There is a definite agenda. And for the most part, it's been working. Now, I don't care what two consenting adults do in the privacy of their bedroom, their home, whatever. I don't care. That is not my issue here. My issue is if you look on a larger scale, and this has been addressed by other occultists before, if you look on a larger scale, there's an agenda to feminize so-called black men. Why? What would be the reason why they would want to turn black men into others? Let's just put it that way. If we weren't like the standard of masculinity, strength, and king-like behavior and characteristics, why? Why would they want to feminize us? Very simple. I've said this before, and another disclaimer. I may say some things that I've said before in other videos, so if you've heard it before, I probably said it before. The reason being is that when you have a nation of effeminized men and leaders who will guide, how can you rebel against a system that is very existence is hell bent on your destruction? How? I went to a bowling alley. I go bowling like once a week, but about 2 weeks ago I went twice in 1 week, and twice, I'm not exaggerating, I saw a gang of young men. I think they were part of a football team because they had on varsity jackets. And I saw, the first time, it was, okay, here's a group of young men that acted real feminine. They was wearing skinny jeans with their jeans hanging off their asses, and eyeliners and makeup. I'm not exaggerating. I said, okay. Because a friend of mine that I was there with, he said, like, what is this, the gay football team? And I laughed it off. I said, okay. You know, maybe this is just a one-off. I just happened to be there the night they were there. But the second time, in that 1 week that I was there, I saw another group of another football team. And they were acting the same way. Just like real effeminate and loud and like wanting attention and girly hairstyles. I'm like, as a melanated man, that should bother the hell out of all you brothers who are watching. That we got the youth coming up thinking this is normal behavior. I don't give a damn what nobody says. That is not normal behavior. Okay? Think about this. one of the most masculine men that ever hit the screen is Ving Rhames. When did Ving Rhames start making movies that like he started getting roles constantly? Not a coincidence. I named 2 movies. Holiday Heart, where he plays, I'm not sure if it was a transsexual or transgender or whatever, or just a drag queen. But he was in makeup, dresses, wigs. Pulp Fiction, he got fucked in the ass. I mean, why was that scene even necessary? You see what I'm saying? They have an agenda where it's a ritual. They have to put black men in feminine kind of ways. And like I said, as a melanated man, that should bother the hell out of people. Another one. This is the only role I ever saw him play where he dressed up in a dress and acting gay. Cuba Gooding Jr. in Road Trip. I've never seen him in any other picture except that one, where he was acting like a woman. And then you got, like I said, they've been doing this for so long, it just seems we just tend to just either just are numb to it or we just block it out. But one of the agendas also was to remove the man from the home and let the government take care of the woman. Big, great example of this is in the movie Claudine, where they made it a point to show that a welfare worker came and she made it known that if there was a man in the house, Claudine couldn't get welfare assistance. This is, without going too deep into that, this has always been that agenda of that specific program. Take the man out of the house, government will take care of you. Another agenda is glorifying despicable and deplorable living conditions, like the projects. For one thing, why is it called project? What is a project? The projects is an experiment, right? I mean, seriously, why would it be called the projects? Dora pause. Did that even sink in? Like, why is that called the projects? Did that ever occur in anyone who's watching this video mind why it's called the projects? Think about it. Then they glorify those living conditions. Two programs I can bring up on that one. Good Times, which I hated. Why is it called Good Times? Think about the lyrics of the song. Keeping your head above water, making the best way that you can, temporary layoffs, good times. Really? It wasn't until I was an adult and I became conscious that I was like, wow, these lyrics are really fucked up. But music and images are a great way to embed themselves into your consciousness. Images, I've always said this. So when you see things on the big screen, that gets into your subconscious as well. Like I said, we are a nation of numbed and dumbed down people. The other one is the PJs. Eddie Murphy, I could smack the hell out of him for making that shit. I mean, and it comes off, it's supposed to be funny, but it's really not. You know what I'm saying? once you are aware of self and you have a higher level of thinking, that's so not going to be funny to you. Like I said, putting black men, so-called black men, melanated men, in dresses has been an age-old thing. This is why TV works so well for them. They control the media. Claudine, character. Flip Wilson. How old is that show? I believe that show was in the 60s and the 70s. I'm not quite sure. But he played a popular character. Claudine. And then you had one of the funniest comedians of all time, Richard Pryor. Now, I know you're probably wondering, Magic, when did Richard Pryor ever put on a dress or act feminine? Okay, I'm glad you asked that question because I'm going to tell you. JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. In that movie, Richard Pryor, it wasn't even a dress. He was in a fucking bikini and high heels, lipstick, makeup, the whole thing. Now, that might have been true because that was based on real life events of his life. But again, put it up on the big screen and there you have it. And they broadcast this all around the world. Like, this is how they act. This is how feminine they are. Will Smith, one of the biggest actors out there now. And, wow, which movie was that? Magick La Croix? Will Smith never did anything homosexual or gay. Yeah, he did. One of his first movies, before he got to play those big screen, those big movie franchises like Independence Day, check out a movie called 6 Degrees of Separation. Will Smith, a young Will Smith. In it, they didn't really show a lot, but he was a young boy and he fucked Matt Damon. If I'm thinking about it correctly, yeah, that's what he did. And then Matt Damon went to his wife and said, it was wonderful. Not going to do a second door pause, but wow. So I was told that one of my biggest, I'm not going to say heroes, but for lack of a better word, straight men, actually did something recently. I refused to watch this video, but I was told by a conscious sister that these two men actually did some, I'm not sure what they did, either put on a dress or something. Spike Lee and Samuel L. Jackson. Wow. Got to them too. Got to them too. I never, ever thought I would hear them too. And Spike Lee supposedly one of the most pro-black people ever of our generation did that. And I'm like, nah. I refuse to watch any bullshit like that. Okay. You got to understand, this is the agenda to effeminize us. Now, there's going to be a lot of women and feminists who disagree with me. I really don't give a shit. Because why would you say something like, let them live, or a good man is hard to find? Yeah, I guess so. A good man is hard to find if all of them are turning in feminine. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't have a problem with what two consenting adults do. I don't have a problem with anyone's sexual preference. That's not my business. My business is when you're constantly throwing like it's a normal thing, like it's supposed to be that way, then yeah, I have a definite problem. Okay. We got processed foods, which not just cause cancer, but they actually will fuck up hormones and testosterone in the men. And then you got poison tap water. And then you got chemtrails. You know what I'm saying? You got all these things coming at you. So you got to constantly protect yourself. Log off fucking Facebook once in a while and go read a damn book. We got all this technology. We got, you carry around, if you have a smartphone, the cheapest smartphone out there is still a walking portable computer. And people still refuse to read and research. Doesn't that bother y'all people? It bothers me. Read the book 1984. It is such a reality right now. Big Brother is watching you. Watch the movie They Live. There's so much truth in that. Like I said, there's particular agendas towards everybody, but to melanated people in particular. Now, if I've offended you, oh well. We are in an age where everything is offensive. I'm not trying to spare nobody's goddamn feelings. These are things that need to be addressed. It's like we are an endangered species. And they're doing every fucking thing to wipe us off the map. Whether you want to believe it or not. How far has praying got you? Before I close out today, I got just a few recommendations, book recommendations. Like I said, log off Facebook, log off social media. Who cares what other people are doing? Cosmic Trigger, one of my first conscious books. Robert Anton Wilson. He's a great author. This book is so worn out, and I've had it for so long, the pages are coming out of it. That's how much material is in this one book. Cosmic Trigger. Funny, they listed under psychology, social philosophy. There's much more than that, trust me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be recommending it to you. Arctos, the polar myth. I've had this book for some years also. I found this book after hearing Brother Bobby Hemmett mention it. It was either Brother Bobby Hemmett or Brother Panic. One of them two. It might have been Panic. I'm not sure. But Arctos, the polar myth. Very, very interesting book. It is listed, get this, mythology / political history / occult. Check that out when you get a chance. It's a great book. The 4 Agreements. Personal growth, self-help. Great book to live by. I believe you can find this on PDF form. The 4 Agreements. Don Miguel Ruiz. Forgot his name for a second. Like I said, I only have a few books, but here's another good one. Vera Stanley Alder, The Fifth Dimension. This is also the author I've recommended before. It's called The Finding of the Third Eye. This is listed under Inspiration / New Age. The hell is New Age? Lord have mercy, I tell you. The Spiritual Worker's Handbook by Tarot Star. I love his writing style. He speaks or he writes in Old English. And somehow that just appeals to me. I got one final book that should be in every person, every occultist, every spiritualist, every magician, every conscious person's library. Whatever you want to call yourself. But this is a must-have. They probably have it on PDF form by now. The 48 Laws of Power. Get that book. Read it. Apply it. I've read this book quite a few times, and sometimes I find myself just applying techniques from this book subconsciously, without even thinking about it. It's a great book to have. And as always, oh, I'm sorry, I got one final suggestion for you men. A great scent that comes from Mexico. A good friend of mine recommended this, and this is the Power of 7 Men. I like this scent so much. I may do a video on pheromones, but I like this scent so much that before my first bottle was empty, I bought 2 more. It's called Siete Machos. It's made with natural extracts and oils. Siete Machos gives you the smell or the power of 7 men, 7 males, the way they put it. And as always, for all your needs, consultations if you need that, or some work done, contact me on Facebook and my website, www.themagical, with a K, elite supplyshop.com. That's going to be put down on the description. I hope you got something out of this. I will see you next time, people. This is Magick La Croix. I'm signing out. Peace.